Hey folks, Ethan here. Welcome back to Plan B, where I take you through my life on a sort of adult gap year. As you can see, I'm not in my usual recording location. I feel kind of silly about that, given that just this past weekend I upgraded a lot about my recording setup. I'd gotten a lav mic set up, I got a webcam and mic, and got all these lights set up around my computer, all just to not be able to use it this week. Hopefully next week. A little progress report before I explain to you where I am and why I'm here. Last week was busy, and this week busier still. I'm lucky to be feeling a lot of urgency because if the last 4 years taught me anything, it is the value of time. I know that the money that I saved up this year is only going to last so long, and so I don't want to waste a single minute of it. I started consistently practicing vocal warm-ups last week, and I'm happy to say that they are paying off bizarrely quickly. My recorded vocals are more on pitch than they used to be, and this empowered me to record something I've wanted to try for years. A cover of a synth-pop reggae song called It Takes a Muscle to Fall in Love by Spectral Display. I filmed myself putting it together for about 4 or 5 hours on Friday, cut the footage together last Saturday, and uploaded it Sunday. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. Definitely go watch the video if you haven't yet. It's up on all of my social media channels. Some other things that I've done over the last week: a TikTok duet on the Led Zeppelin song Black Dog with mixed results, hey, quantity over quality, and rehearsing with 2 of my friends for a postponed but still upcoming live Beatles cover. Still looking forward to that. So yeah, happy to have been keeping this busy. Anyhow, where am I? I'm in sunny Los Angeles, a short but welcome break from cloudy Boston. Friends may remember that I lived here for half a year until mid-May-ish of 2020. For all the time that I spent at Google, the team that I worked on was based right here. I moved to LA right in time for the COVID pandemic to start wreaking havoc just as I was starting to make friends, and then returned to my hometown in Maine for a little while after several months of total isolation in an apartment here. When they started shutting down the beaches, I knew I had to go. So, if my time living in LA was miserable, what am I doing back here? Well, that leads me to the wisdom I'm reflecting on this week, making sure I take the time to do something unreasonable every so often. In very late 2021, I happened upon an unusual eBay auction advertised by some talented jazz musicians, that is, Nick Campbell Destroys, Jacob Mann, and Christian Human. These guys were about to film and record a live jazz album called Live for the Highest Bidder. For exactly one audience member is a gigantic bit, and whoever won this eBay auction would be that person. Oftentimes, we dismiss great opportunities like this so quickly that we don't even remember them the next day. There were many reasons I might not have been interested in this. I lived on the opposite side of the continent, the Omicron variant of COVID was then ravaging the whole country, and I wasn't sure how to pay for this or how I'd fit it into my work schedule. Above all, I didn't think there was any chance I'd actually win. Nevertheless, that day I couldn't dismiss the thought of what if. In the end, I couldn't resist. I put down a bid, and a couple days later I found out that I'd actually won. So I booked a flight and a hotel for a few days, flew out, and ended up having the time of my life at the session. The 3 musicians and the producer, Will Kennedy, were kind and gracious. We all got to hang out a bit, and the show itself was fantastic. I even got subjected to some light on-camera ribbing, which I'm happy to say made it into the final cut when it was released this past July. Go search Live for the Highest Bidder on YouTube if you want to see it. So this is what leads me to today's travel. I saw at the beginning of this month that these guys would be playing a release show for this album tonight at 9 p.m. in Highland Park. I knew immediately that I had to go. The same things that made the first trip so ridiculous are still there. I still live on the East Coast, and we are in another COVID wave right now. But I didn't regret committing to the bit last time, and that's why I knew I wouldn't today either. So here I am. I'm trying to have this attitude throughout this year off, of not constantly asking myself permission for things and seeking out opportunities when I don't quite know the how yet. This example involved money, but the broader concept isn't about money at all. It's about trying out something that seems out of reach. Time and time again, this mentality has led to my best experiences. I'd never been in an opera before. I tried out for a 2018 production of Deflator Mouse in college and had no idea what I was doing in the audition. But then I inexplicably landed a lead role in the show and learned a ton. So, in conclusion, maybe you're more ready than you think for that part in that show or that presentation at work. Maybe that opportunity isn't quite as out of reach as you'd assumed. Just think about it. You won't know until you go for it, and you usually won't be worse off for trying. Whatever out of reach or ridiculous plans you have coming up in your future, I wish you all the best. And wow, now I have to get ready to go. Hopefully some news or progress on original music coming up soon, and see you around.